Greetings! Hello, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining, and the magpie is casting. Can meet you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle, fresh from the ladder. Featuring, spawning in the south, we're going to have the United States forces of FK9DD. And spawning in the north, we're going to have the Wehrmacht forces of Burmie. So, a very warm welcome back to the channel for Burmie. Pretty sure I haven't cast FK9DD, but I don't know, something about that name rings a bell somewhere. So, maybe I have cast something from him. The map today is going to be... this is not Falmionville Approach, which is the name which is popping into my mind. Damn it, this one always gets me. It's like one of the ones that was released when the British forces came out. Arnhem Checkpoint. The map today is going to be Arnhem Checkpoint. Firing on all cylinders, Magpie this morning. Good stuff, good stuff. So yes, the map today is indeed going to be Arnhem Checkpoint. Now, let's have a look here. Burmie does not have any of the commanders that were changed for the Wehrmacht forces, so I believe that his forces are going to be playing pretty much as they were before December the 3rd, so not a lot to mention in terms of differences there. FK9DD, of course, he's repping the United States forces. He's got one of the new commanders here. He's got the Tactical Support Company, and this is just a pretty sweet commander. I'll leave those abilities on the screen there so you can hit the pause on the YouTube and review them at your leisure. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet commander, and of course the Calliope is, it's to use a phrase I hate, it's a real game changer. It's a pretty good unit. It brings a new facet, a new dimension to the United States' play. Now, I must apologise, I didn't upload any casts yesterday. I have a really sore throat. I still have a really sore throat. So we'll just, I just thought, screw it. I'm just going to jump in, do a cast, and just sort of see how it goes. I have a cup of tea here, of course. So hopefully that will be enough to soothe my throat. And yeah, well, I'll just keep on going. And if my voice suddenly dies on me, I very much apologise. So let's take a look here. 3 of Rifleman for FK9DD. I might just call him Double D because I hear he's got absolutely massive bazookas. Let's see now. We've got two of Grenadiers and an MG42 coming out for the Axis player. Skirmishes getting underway in the middle of the map, as is de rigueur for this map. This is pretty much standard issue. We've got an MG42 getting up into a fantastic position, catches a Rifleman squad in a good arc here. Grenadiers also in good cover, and they look to have the upper hand on these Riflemen. 3 Riflemen to 2, but of course the Garand at this range can kind of change things up. So these Riflemen are actually beginning to catch up, and a grenade comes out. Very early grenade package research here for FK9DD. Where are these Grenadiers going? Oh my god, that's a squad wipe right there. Burmie dropping a squad of Grenadiers. I kind of feel like he must have selected that squad and given them an order off the minimap or something, because it was very unusual for them to break cover, run across this negative cover here and get squad wiped. That's obviously not what he was intending, and he's going to have to spend 240 manpower at this early juncture just to replace one of his Grenadier squads. So that's pretty unfortunate there. These Riflemen are going to chase down he needs to fall this MG back as well, I would have thought, because these Riflemen are doing some pretty good damage. They're going to have to turn the MG before they can even start doing anything about them. And then these Riflemen are in heavy cover, so they're going to take a long time to get suppressed. And is he going to fall this? What is he doing? He's breaking cover again, but not falling back. These Riflemen are just going to hound it down. There we go. Sluggish on the fallback there from Burmie. Maybe he's just woken up as well. Maybe he's yet to have his first cup of joe / tea. Anyway, Pioneer's going to get a great engagement on these Riflemen, and there we go. The fallback comes down in good order from Double D. As I have a sip on my tea, please excuse me. So anyway, let's crack the tack here and get an overview, get a feeling for who's captured what. Seems like the Axis player has secured the left of the map in reasonable order. He's got the fuel point crucially and the victory point. He also holds the center victory point, so it's the American player right now who's under the gun. As soon as he can grab this point, he'll have a munitions point. Now the American player has secured... Actually, no, he hasn't secured this munitions point. He has been cut off. He hasn't even got the fuel point. So right now, the resource situation very much favouring the Wehrmacht player. Plus 23 and plus 37 fuel and munitions respectively over the 7 and 11. So pulling ahead a little bit right now is Burmie, despite the early loss of a squad. So maybe he'll be able to I don't know. Like, let's see how long he's able to sustain this resource lead for. Because if he sustains it for long enough, it may be able to offset the disadvantage that he's had by losing a squad so early. Now we do have Pathfinders on the field, which indicates that Double D here has chosen the Airborne Company. There it is on the screen now. Just hit pause if you want to familiarise yourself with these abilities. Basically, there's a lot of ways of calling in various units, various tools for your units to use, and of course at 12 command points you get the fearsome P-47 anti-tank rocket strafe, which loiters around and can deal heavy damage to Axis tanks. I would say particularly that's a very good choice against Wehrmacht, because Overcommand have a lot of sort of ambient flak, if you like. You've got the Schwerpanzer HQ, you've got the flak guns in the base, and oftentimes, you know, well, sometimes anyway, they'll have an Oswind or enough pintle-mounted MG42s that those P47s don't last too long. Now, against Wehrmacht, you know, you don't have to worry about the Schwerpanzer HQ. Your only real worry are pintle-mounted MG42s, the Oswind and the 222 Scout car in terms of AA. And by the time the P47 comes out, you know, often the Wehrmacht player doesn't have any of those things going around, or you know, or at most a couple of pintle-mounted MG42s. So the P47, in my experience, much more effective against Wehrmacht than against Overcommand, although it is pretty effective, you know, most of the time anyway. Now, taking a convincing fight in mid, 3 squads of Grenadiers looking to get set up and doing some good capturing. There is a squad of riflemen, sorry, rear echelon on the left of the map doing some capturing. But right now, most of the American forces have been forced back to base, where they're using a 3/4-ton ambulance to heal and reinforce. Now, so that means that, yeah, plus 29 and 47 over 7 and 11 fuel munitions respectively for Burmie and Double D respectively. So, wow, I mean, just this is a fatty lead right now that Burmie's getting off to. I don't know how else to describe it. This is a Double D of a lead that Burmie's getting off to. Yeah, that's pretty good for him. I would say that the early squad wipe that he suffered has now been made up for. Let's check the teching for the Axis player, see if he's been able to go to Battle Phase 2 yet. No, he hasn't. He may be deciding to get out one more squad before he commits to going for the extra tech. He's got the bunker, of course, giving him the ability to heal his units as they fall back to his base, so that's going to be useful. Squad of riflemen here should be enough to displace these Grenadiers. They get up nice and close, and there the Garans can do their work. Just listen for the magazines. Hee hee hee. I just love that sound. So cool. Anyway, yep, they're gonna force these Grenadiers to fall back. In fact, there's danger of a squad wipe here as the marksman. Oh, he's not focus firing the correct squad, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Yep, there he goes. Yep, the marksman. The Pathfinders, of course, function similarly to the Jaeger light infantry for the Overcommand West forces. That is, there's an accurate rifle in this squad which will one-hit infantry that are less than 75% health. So very effective against falling back squads, and very effective at range against infantry in general. Now, there's a squad hero with a flamethrower. I wonder if they're waiting to hop into a building and get an ambush, or not quite sure what the deal is with them. Now, these beacons, they can be constructed by the Pathfinders, and as I recall, well, we can read, actually. The beacon reveals nearby enemy units on the minimap, that's useful, improves the accuracy of paradrops, and allows paradrop troopers to paradrop reinforce when nearby. That's really cool. How much does this thing cost to build? I can't tell you because that squad has now hidden itself in a building, and I wasn't looking when I had it on the screen, so don't know how much it costs to build, but if I recall correctly, it's like in the order of like 50 or 80 manpower. So, yeah, it's pretty good. MG42 gets set up in a decent building in mid, looking to get some work done on those paratroopers. Now, these Pioneers are going to get into a great building. That's going to enable them to roast and toast here. And I think, like, the story of this game so far is that Burmie's been able to entrench himself... Ooh, good grenade. Oh, no, good dodge as well. Burmie's been able to entrench himself in the middle of the map and defend it using Grenadiers, Riflemen, and now Flamethrowers, and that's enabling him to do really well. He now sees this beacon, actually, which he's going to start flaming up. So that beacon shouldn't be around much longer, possibly an ambitiously placed one. Now, there is another beacon here, back here in the American base. He's not beaconless. Oh, now we can see how much it costs. Set up beacon. Oh, is it free? Oh, okay, it's free, but you're limited to placing 3. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I did not know that they were free. Sorry, that's really good. Squad of Grenadiers getting right up close here to the American base. They're going to be capping this munitions point, which is fantastic. Now, the fuel difference has been addressed here. Double D's managed to cap himself up the right-hand side of the map, as you can see here on the minimap. That's going to enable him to have the fuel he needs to start teching up and moving forwards into the game. But, you know, he's still slightly behind. It's 26 for the Axis, 23 for the Allies. He's still slightly behind, and, you know, he was behind for a good few minutes there, and not just behind, but seriously behind. So it's fair to say right now that Burmie has, you know, has all the fuel he wants, really, all the fuel he could possibly hope for at this stage in the game. And let's take a look here. Still no Battle Phase 2, though. He's floating a lot of manpower, and he's floating a lot of fuel, so I think he should go for that. These paratroopers here are going to be reinforcing. A squad wipe comes down on some Grenadiers, so a bit of a setback there. And I'm starting to fear for Burmie. He's down at 31 supply, but if you look at the top right, I mean, his squads, he's got 3 squads of Grenadiers and an MG42. Okay, now, there we go. He's adding another squad of Grenadiers and an MG42 simultaneously. That will that does enough to alleviate my fears. I was worrying that he was getting a little bit thinly spread there. As I have a sip on my tea, look, there's just constant reinforcing coming down from these paratroopers. This is super good. I did not realise, I was not fully cognizant of the fact that these forward receiver thingies, these beacons, act as forward reinforcement points for an airborne style army. And this is really cool. How much does it cost to bring in some paratroopers? 380 manpower, and you know they're pretty spicy. I mean, obviously you can upgrade them with Tommy guns, and I'm pretty sure they're not as good as Rangers in a direct fight because not all of them get Tommy guns. Oh wow, look, we've got the crazy little dance going on between two dead guys. Okay, right. Just what I've seen this happen like once or twice before. Whoops, and it is pretty amusing. Let's just pan around. Look at that. Whoop, whoop. They're just going to keep on going. You know, whatever, it's 2015, as long as they're both, you know, consensual adults, I honestly, you know, it's fine. So, let's see, we've got Pathfinder, sorry, I was a little bit distracted there, let's catch on up. So we've got a lieutenant on the field now. He will obviously give access to utility cars and 50 calibers and another unit. What else? Come on, Magpie. What else does he give access to? Oh, of course, the AA half-track. Yeah, of course, the spicy AA half-track. We've got a pretty big fight being taken here. 4 American squads, though, going to be enough just to muscle their way through, despite good positioning in a building and behind cover with a flamethrower here for Burmie. And, whoa, these pioneers need to get out and fall back, and they will. Whoa, an unlucky fallback path is going to take them all the way around this building and past all the American troops again. And I would be amazed if this wasn't a squad wipe coming down on a very nice 2-star unit of pioneers. There we go. Oh, an insult to injury. The flamethrower gets dropped. These paratroopers could grab that flamethrower. I mean, it's worth getting suppressed to grab the flamethrower. I think that they really should. If Double D's paying attention here, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, they've gotten suppressed already. Now, there is a squad of grenadiers capping up the left, and capping up the right, and the left of the map is pretty much entirely in Axis hands. So I still think Burmie's doing pretty well on the back of this, but he has been unlucky and dropped a few squads here and there. Well, unlucky and also sort of slightly sluggish on fullbacks. Dropped a few squads here and there. So I have another sip on my tea. So this is definitely a situation that Double D can use the. Well, he's going to drop this Grenadier squad as well if Double D's paying any attention. But you know what? I think his own smoke is going to provide the perfect means for this Grenadier to escape. So that would have been backbreaking probably if that would have come down. Now these riflemen are going to grab the flamethrower and they're going to put it to immediate use, starting to gas up this MG42 in this building. But even so, the ferocious fields of fire from these 2 MG42s pretty much locking down this entire courtyard. And the American advance is actually running out of steam. There's still a lieutenant and a rifleman squad in these 2 buildings at the back. The rifleman squad break cover and they come forward, possibly to try and secure a pineapple into this MG. Here comes the pineapple now. And there's oh wow! Oh, excellent dodge, anticipating it beautifully from Burmie. And 2 squads of grenadiers with the G43 upgrades. Of course, what I haven't commented on yet is, of course, he's gone for the Lightning War Doctrine. That has been purchased. And actually, you know what? Now would not be a bad time to use the relief infantry if he wants to use it. Nope, he's going to spend it on a rifle grenade, so he cannot do that anymore. But yeah, G43 Grenadiers going to come forward, but you know what, there's no MGs supporting them now, and now they're just in a killing zone with riflemen in a massive concave, riflemen and paratroopers in a massive concave around them. They're going to be forced to fall back. No squad wipes will be forthcoming, but for the first time this game, it's Double D now who controls the middle of the map, and we'll see if he's able to use this base of power to launch into a dominant phase of play, because it's safe to say he's been on the back foot so far. Now, let's crack the tack here and just see what's going on. And you can see that basically the only squad right now that's actually active for the German forces, I mean there's a few coming out here, is this squad of grenadiers on the right flank. Crucially going immediately for the cutoff point. These Pathfinders here know exactly what needs to be done. Of course, by grabbing this point, if I look at the minimap, you can see that would cut off a fuel point, a munitions point, and you know, one other point, so that's a fair amount of resources here, but the Pathfinders have been forced to give up on that. Squad of grenadiers with an MG42 backing them up, going to be coming forwards. Good veterancy on those Axis units too. In fact, good veterancy on this Pathfinders unit. Rifle grenade comes down, it's a good hit. Not a devastating hit though, kills 1 man and heavily reduces the health of the squad, but it's not one of those, oh my god, I didn't see that rifle grenade and now I've lost a squad kind of rifle grenades, which are pretty spicy. Reasonable concave of Axis forces here. MG42 set up in an okay arc, but sort of flanked here by some riflemen. Oh, fantastic rifle grenade comes down, and a pineapple on the MG team. That needs to fall back. That's a 3-star MG team, and it will be lucky to fall back. These Pathfinders are going to be picking away at it. You know what? Actually, they're not. They're going to let it get away. I don't know why they weren't shooting. So anyway, I think on the back of that fight, Burmie is going to be able to push forward. So he pretty much took that fight. basically because of that MG team, managed to suppress the rifleman team, which had a flamethrower. So on the back of that, Burmie may be able to retake the center. He's certainly re-established a presence in the center. I have to say, on the back of taking that fight earlier in the middle, which FK9DD took, he's not been able to make very many gains. The right-hand side of the map pretty much entirely in Axis hands again, or rather still. And the left-hand map, I mean, he's managed to grab a munitions point and like one other point. It's not really as much as I was expecting. And of course, he's also got, you know, the center victory point, which is nice, you know. But you know, he's down at 330 under 474 at the 15.5 sort of, well, let's call it the 16-minute mark more or less. So he didn't really make as much ground as I was hoping he would after that. And you can see the majority of his squads are still back at base. They've all been forced back again. Now, he does have his major on the field in this church, although that major is now taking fire. I think what he needs to do is push the ambulance to, like, just behind this fence. Put the major, like, just behind this fence. In fact, if you can use the ambulance to ram through these two fences, that would be nice. Because otherwise your falling back squads are going to have to take a really odd line. But yeah, I think just setting up the major and the ambulance somewhere in this area here would be really nice. Now the major's kind of already up here, so I think he just needs to shift the ambulance. You could also set up like a reinforced beacon, like one of those beacon thingies. Like here would be good again, actually. You could just put it there, but somewhere central, and go for it. Using this forward position as a staging post for your forces. I think that would benefit him the most. It would certainly up the efficiency of his units considerably by allowing them to spend a lot less time out of combat reinforcing and falling back and then coming back to the field sort of thing. BAR, of course that's the lieutenant, he comes with a BAR. Oh, Pineapple comes down in a good position. That's going to get some good damage onto these grenadiers, and at this range there's nothing they can do against the lieutenant. They should just be getting the hell out of here. And wow, there's even some paratroopers chipping in some extra damage. There comes the fallback, and it should be just about in time, although reasonably low on health. Oh my god, super low on health. That is not in time, and a squad wipe comes down. Paratroopers in a fantastic position. The Thompson upgrade there, proving its worth, and that's pretty devastating. Now Burmie, 38 supply under 52. He has been dropping a lot of squads, and if you look at the top right, look at the top left, that kind of tells the story. Now he's been able to use that early fuel advantage to grab himself a Tech 2 and the support armor core. That means that a Panzer IV is just now rumbling onto the field. Pintle mount upgrade coming down with good timing. So Burmie far from out of this game, but I do worry for his position. I think he needs to focus all his power here pretty much. Just get all his squads here and go for it. Wow, he doesn't hold any of the victory points either actually, so catching up in a big way is Double D. And wow, this Panzer IV is just going to go for a super big dive. This is turbo risky, but I think it might pay off as he finds the major with the ambulance, which has deployed pretty much where I was hoping he would, but sadly it seems Double D is going to get punished for not having accurate, not having enough spotting and, or any AT guns. In fact, he's got no anti-tank to speak of at all, which I have to say is a little short-sighted on behalf of the American player there. This Panzer IV looking to get some grimy squad wipes, gets one on a unit of paratroopers, and wow, Double D, I believe, has seen enough. He's just going to call it there. He just has had enough. Obviously, that game was far from over, but Company of Heroes 2, actually more often than not, is more of a battle of wills. Most RTS games are just a battle of wills. They just come down to whether you can break your opponent. I would say probably less than half of all game endings come down to an actual unwinnable situation for one of the players, forcing them to withdraw from the game. Often it just comes down to a situation where they just think that they're so far behind they can't be bothered to come back until you get to the very high level of play where people are actually playing for the win. So anyway, yeah, I mean, clearly if you look at the top left, you look at the supply, like this game is pretty much even. But I think FK9DD just a little bit frustrated with the way this Panzer IV came back here and decided to leave the game. Now, I mean, he's floating enough manpower that he could... Oh, he can't buy an AT gun because he doesn't have the captain. Ooh. Oh, that smarts a little bit. That does smart a little. Does he have weapon racks? He doesn't have weapon racks either, so bazookas aren't an option. Okay, right, no, fair enough then. Maybe Double D was forced out of this game because he just doesn't have an answer for this Panzer IV, and he won't have an answer for like the next 2 minutes. And having a Panzer IV romping around your base for 2 minutes is... That's pretty painful, so I take it back. FK9DD does have a legitimate cause to leave this game, actually. That's pretty bad. My knowledge of the American tech tree still developing, so forgive me for that one. So yeah, FK9DD Gonna call it there, and rightfully so, and I'm gonna move on and cast another one, because that one was remarkably brief. So for now, this is Magpie 842, but stay tuned for more episodes. That doesn't make any sense. For now, this is Magpie 842. That doesn't make any sense. Let's try that again, one more time. For now, this is Magpie 842 signing out. See, now it makes sense. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks very much. See you guys.